Now it's here. So thank you for having me here. My name is Dalvai. I'm from the NOI Techpark in South Tyrol in the north of Italy. And we are creating the Open Data Hub. The NOI Techpark is an area in Bolzano where different research institutes like URAC, Fraunhofer, the University of Bolzano, and companies and startups work together to achieve innovative and sustainable development. And the NOI itself is also a company, so we work for the NOI, and we as the digital unit created this Open Data Hub, an open source solution to share and collect open data. So this is the main view of the Open Data Hub. You can see we have three main data spaces: mobility, tourism, and agriculture. So we also have different data providers and registered data consumers. So the data providers give us the data, and the registered data consumers show them on their website or use them in their applications. And of course, we have a lot of more applications and websites using the Open Data Hub that are not registered, since it's open data and you can use it without any authentication or whatever. So our main resources then are our website, opendatahub.com, but also the web component store, then analytics and the data browser. And we provide three main services: data access, data sharing, and data visualization. And I will show you in this presentation what these services are about. But first, let's see what data do we have. So we have data in all these different data sectors, from the mobility data, from parking availability to traffic data, e-charging stations, car sharing stations, but also tourism data, like the points of interest, activities, events, accommodations, and much more. And for the agricultural data, we are still working on integrating it, so it will be released around 2024. And the cool thing about the Open Data Hub is that you can consume the data of all these data sectors and different data providers from one platform. Otherwise, you would have to learn the API of this organization or of that company and code your own solution. And with the Open Data Hub, we do that work for you, and you can access all this data. So, and this is the core team. This is at the Open Data Hub Day we have yearly around May, and there we present the main progress and updates on the Open Data Hub. So from the left you see Rudi and Clemens are my colleagues, the software architects, and Rudi is mainly responsible for the tourism data, and Clemens helps me with the mobility data, and also in migrating everything to Kubernetes and Terraform and to a new event-driven infrastructure. Then you can see Stefano, he's a project manager and subject matter expert for IoT and open data. Then down in the bottom with me, Roberto Cavaliere. He is also project manager and subject matter expert for mobility solutions and AI. Then there is Emily. Emily helps us with community building, events, and content on the website. Then there is Patrick Onewijn. He's also the project leader and the head of unit of our digital unit. And he's the reason, because we do everything open source, he's active in free software since a long time. And yeah. And last but not least, Luca Miotto. He's also a project manager and responsible subject matter expert for open data and free software. He's also responsible for the Free Software Lab, where we help companies, startups, or organizations to find digital solutions, preferably with free software. And then not in the picture, we have customer care support that helps you with questions. So if you write to help@opendatahub.com, they will try to answer your question. And if they're not able to, they will delegate it to us, to me and my colleagues, the software architects. And of course, we have many other external contributions because it's a big project. So there are, I don't know exactly how many, but yeah. So this is our service model. So everybody can access all the open data for free without authentication and authorization. He just can go to the APIs and fetch the data however he wants. Then you can sign a contract with us, and it's also for free, but you get better support by us, and you will show up as registered data consumer. And if you want to be a data provider, you have to sign a contract with us. And if you have special needs, like special features, special requests, or you don't want to share all the data, just some part of it, or start with integrating all the data in the Open Data Hub, but as closed data, and then slowly, step by step, open some data with some consumers, and then maybe open all. You can choose advanced or premium service, where you will talk with our project managers, and they will find a fitting service for you. So now let's see our 3 services. So we have data access, where we provide high quality, real-time and machine readable data. Now I will show you an example for this data. So this is, for example, the Brennerlec project. It's the A22 highway in the north of Italy. It's the main axis connecting North Europe to the rest of South Italy, and so we have a lot of traffic there. And different sensors collect the data about the traffic, the air quality, and everything. The data gets transmitted to the Open Data Hub, that then sends the data to the traffic control center, where traffic experts analyze the data and set dynamic speed limits. So by changing the speed limit maybe from 130 to 100, the reduction of traffic jams and environmental pollution is huge. So with this data, they can decide much better what speed limit to set. And I prepared also more examples, but sadly, during the export, I didn't see that the slides were hidden. So if you want to see the other examples, just you can ask me during the coffee break. I will show you to them. They are about our open trip planner for the city of Merano. Then an e-paper system where we also have like seminar rooms in the NOI Techpark, and we have an e-paper display in front of every room showing the current and next events, and the data is coming from the Open Data Hub. And the last one, now I can't remember. So the other service is data sharing. So we provide the ability to share your data with different data consumers, and it can generate visibility for your core business. But if you don't want to share the data with everybody or just by step, we have with Keycloak this authentication and authorization system, where we also can federate, like you can see, or sign in with. We have the Techpark, the research institutes, the university, and a company, so you can log into the tool and access your data, or say these other companies can also see my data. And so you can achieve step-by-step opening of your data. And our last service is data visualization. It's also very interesting because we have, of course, APIs, but not only. So this is our standard API. We have a JSON REST API. And currently we have 2 different endpoints, one for the mobility data and one for the tourism data, because historically they started from different projects. So the mobility data was one project, the tourism data another one, and we unified them to the Open Data Hub, and in the future we plan to have one endpoint, so you can access all data from one single endpoint. And probably also the agricultural data will be integrated in that endpoint. Then for not machines, but also for humans, we have web components. This is the web component store, We have around currently, I think, a little bit more than 30 web components, and they show the data of the Open Data Hub. And these widgets can be integrated in any website. So you just copy the JavaScript tag and the corresponding HTML tag in every website, and you can then define with CSS how it will look like, but the data and the visualization of the data is defined by the web component. And the whole web component store and every web component is open source. So of course you can use, change, or create also your own web component. And here you see some examples, like maybe the most interesting is our last one, the flight map on the bottom right. It's a new web component where you can see the arriving and departing flights of the city of Bolzano. We now have airports since, I don't know, 1-2 years operating. And we get the data from them, and you can also see the real-time flights flying over South Tyrol. But then, of course, we also have simple web components like just on the weather or the ski areas, lifts, or parking stations where you can find parking lots in South Tyrol. And yes. Then we have the data browser. This is the version 2.0. It's currently in beta testing, and it's made for at the moment, mostly for the tourism data. Here you can see, and if you have the rights to, you can also change the data. So if you have data quality issues, you can change with this data browser the data. And the plan is to integrate also the mobility data, and then of course the agricultural data in this data browser. Because currently we are showing the mobility data on analytics.opendatahub.com. So here you can see the different sensors and stations on the map. Then if you click on the stations, you can see, because mostly it's time series data, you can see it in a graph and compare it with other data sets or other stations and get a feeling of the data, check. Maybe here sometimes we really see that we have issues, we don't get the data, so the graph is staying still, or it's really helpful for us and others. And a cool thing about the Open Data Hub is so that if you decide to share your data, all these tools work out of the box. So if you have, I don't know, parking station data, they will show on the map, they will show on the web components, and there will be they can be accessed with our APIs. So it's a way to empower your data even more, not just by sharing it, but also to having the right tools to visualize, edit, and share it with the others. Yeah, that was everything. Here you can find a link to our website with the quick start guide, where you will find links to our GitHub repositories, contacts, and information about the project. And yeah, thank you very much.